I haven't done a video like this in so long. I think the last video I did was 3 months ago, and so I'm really excited to share with you guys tons of Black girl booktubers that you need to be following. And this video is going to be a little bit different than the other ones that I've done because these are going to be all of my favorites to watch. Like the girls' videos that I literally never miss, the ones that are the type that you'll like start and you will completely finish the video because you won't want to miss a second of it. So make sure you guys subscribe if you guys want more like Black booktubers to follow. I make these videos every few months because I know it's so important to add diverse reads into the stacks of books that you're reading. And also I make it because like you're not gonna really see these recs on YouTube. So I hope that it inspires you to maybe do the same if you have a channel, or if you are someone who just wants to read diversely. I hope it inspires you to pick up books by authors that maybe you've never heard of before. So yeah, this is gonna be a really fun video. Let me like scoot back because this is gonna be the thumbnail right here. I'm gonna just like put, you know, pictures of people up at the top, and it's just gonna be all of the booktubers that I love. So I guess I should share my own channel first before we get into like the recs. If you're someone who likes to read outside, if you're someone who really likes getting diverse reads, in every single YouTube video I share like a book by a diverse author. I also like to read romance, historical fiction, contemporary fiction, thrillers, and I kind of read fantasy, but like barely. So that's kind of what I read, but mostly it's romance, but I kind of mix up the authors. You're gonna see a lot of authors that aren't super hyped up yet, maybe an author who only has 200 reviews on Goodreads or only 29 reviews on Goodreads. I really try to prioritize the authors that just need the hype that they so deserve, because there's so many incredible stories that I feel like just aren't getting the visibility. So I really try to do that. I bookshop in almost every single vlog, and it's just because I read so much. Like I don't really have a ton of other hobbies. I really just primarily just read. I usually read between 16 to 20 books a month. And as it starts to get warmer, you guys will see more and more videos of me literally just outside, because it's my favorite thing to read outside. There's something so immersive about connecting with nature and doing a hobby that you enjoy. So yeah, make sure you guys are following me if you guys aren't, because I share videos on Tuesdays and Saturdays every single week, and usually my vlogs are like an hour to 2 hours long. Like we're yapping in those videos. But the first booktuber that I'm absolutely obsessed with, and I literally never miss one of her videos, is Rosalie. I think the thing that I love most about her channel is she's always so like positive and such a great like boost. Like whenever I watch her videos, I'm like, oh, I'm like in a good mood now. Like not that I wasn't before, but it's like now I'm definitely in a good mood. She also reads a lot of diverse book recs, and for someone who is constantly buying books by authors that aren't super hyped up, sometimes it can be hard to pick up those books. And the reason is because I think what we love so much about like books is the community and the like, I don't know, the camaraderie where like you read a book and then you see someone else reading the book and you can be like, oh my God, I read that book and I loved it. But there's so many diverse authors that don't get that same hype because no one's really picking up their books or talking about them. And so I don't know, I just like, I think about how Kennedy Ryan is probably the most like popular romance author, and if you look at her reviews on Goodreads, This Could Be Us, I'm pretty sure has like 25,000 reviews, and in comparison there are romance books by like Emily Henry, Abby Jimenez, like top tier romance authors, and they have like over 1 million reviews, or they have 500,000 reviews, and that's in like a year. So I think often about how even when you get to the top as an author and you're a diverse author sharing diverse stories, you still are not getting the same visibility. And I want to be the person that can like bridge the gap or help to bridge the gap. Obviously, I'm not going to be the person that fixes the issue, because the publishing issue is, you know, such a huge thing, and the fact that people a lot of the time don't like to step outside of themselves and read something that isn't focusing solely on their story. Like there are just so many different things, but I think specifically what I love about Rosalie is she picks up a lot of those books by authors that I have already bought their books, but like no one's gotten me excited to read the book because like no one is picking it up, you know what I mean? So she reads a lot of books that are like on my TBR, and after she will read them, I'll be like, bet, I'm literally gonna pick it up now. And it gets me excited to read, which is, again, why I feel like I'm always talking about diverse reads, because I want to get you excited to read it and pick it up and talk about it. So that's one thing I absolutely love about her channel. She's always reading books that aren't like super hyped up. I also love how she reads outside. It makes me want to get outside. And I am like a creator as a like full-time career, and I feel so grateful to do that, especially as a Black creator, because I know that there are so many barriers to me being able to have this as my full-time job, especially living in the Midwest. It just feels like a dream. But one thing that I think I am always thinking about and very conscious of is how much being like on the internet keeps other people on the internet. And so one thing that I really try to do with my videos on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube is encourage people to get outside instead of just scrolling on their phone. And yes, does that make me think like, oh, well, maybe one day people are just gonna put down their phones and like, this won't be my job anymore. Like, it makes me think that like slightly, but then part of me is like, we're in a digital age, so like, is that really gonna happen? No. But I also feel like, again, as a person who is like always trying to think of the bigger picture, I want people to be off their phone. I want people to be picking up books and doing cozy hobbies and getting outside and meeting people in community in real life. And I think to do that, I really try to read, you know, in parks and read in coffee shops, and I see Rosalie doing that too. And so every time I get done watching one of her videos, I'm like, let me get up and get out of my house and go do something, because she just gets me inspired to do that. And the second creator that I'm absolutely obsessed with, I watch her videos every single week, is Brie. I just love her channel. I think the thing I love most about her channel is that she is so unfiltered. Like, and I think for me, like, again, as a creator, I always have a hard time with like being a people pleaser. I honestly, even before I was a creator, I was like always just having a hard time with being a people pleaser. And I want to make everyone feel like, I don't want to offend anyone, and I want everyone to feel included. And I think that when you have a difference of opinion, you will like make people disagree with you. And that's the beautiful thing about books. Like, I could pick up a book and be like, this is my favorite book ever. And someone could be like, that's a 1-star read for me. I hated that book. But I think the thing that I love so much about Brie is she is not someone who struggles with people pleasing, and she's so confident. And I love getting her takes on books because she's not trying to water them down to the masses. She's trying to just genuinely share her opinion. And she always shares it in a kind way, but I feel like every time she starts yapping, I'm like, oh, we're about to get into this. Like, we're about to get into it. And so I know that whenever I get book recs from her, I'm not going to get something that's like, read it was okay, like I'm not really sure. It's like, I did not like this, it was not for me, like that kind of thing. And I also really love how she lives in New York City, and sometimes I feel like whenever I'm consuming content from people who live in bigger cities, their life is so different from mine. Usually, not always, but because I live in the Midwest, it's just so different. So sometimes I can't relate on the same level, because like I can't get up and go out of my house and go to like, you know, 100 different coffee shops in a week, or I can't do this or that. And I feel like she lives a life that feels very simple, very cozy, very homey. Like, she gets her matcha. She loves like going to bookstores and coffee shops, but she also loves staying home. She'll like buy something and be like, yeah, this was so freaking expensive. Like, why? Like, and I think sometimes it's easy to, again, be like, oh, like I went to Erewhon and like I bought this from Erewhon and it was like so yummy. It's like, girl, you spent $45 on a smoothie. Like, and I feel like I love her just like unfiltered thoughts and takes on books and life and things. And she also does like videos that are very bookish, but like they're also kind of like reset and just like day in my life, and like she adds in books, which I feel like is also similar to my channel, because I share these like 1.5 to 2 hour long vlogs of me like living life, but also it's very, very book focused. Like, I will be, you know, getting through my physical TBR, or doing a 24-hour readathon, or all these different things. But in that, you're gonna also see me going to Pilates, and see me going to CrossFit, and see me going shopping, and see me going like, you know, just living life. And I I think that that's my favorite kind of content to consume, when I can see someone doing something that they love but also incorporating it into their real life. Like I remember in one of Bree's vlogs, she was like, I have to go get my glasses, and like I've had like an issue with my prescription, and she was talking about how she has to go to this appointment and all this stuff, and it's like, that is so real, because half the time it's like, I don't even want to adult, but I just want to read my book, but like I have to adult. And I think it's so cool to see people who are like adulting and living life and busy and all the things, but they're also making time for reading. And another creator that I absolutely love, and I'm trying to share creators that like post pretty frequently. Another creator that I'm absolutely obsessed with is Kayla. You guys are gonna see us actually on a trip very soon. We're actually going on 2 trips together. But she's someone who I am obsessed with because she is so funny. Every single time I see a video of hers, I'm laughing. Like, there was like a video where I'm like, she was like standing on her counter. I'm like, girl, why are you on your counter? Like, she's just so funny. Like, and she's like quirky, and she reads books that are not like the books that I typically read. She reads a lot of contemporary fiction, which I love. Like, she has like thought daughter books. Like right now I think she's reading The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. I read that in college. I was actually an English literature major, and I feel like I got a little burnt out on contemporary fiction. And so for a long time, I just wanted to pick up romance. I didn't want anything that was gonna make me think. I just wanted just like pure clouds and fluff in my like head. And I think that she has inspired me so much to pick up books that are like what I read in college and get me excited about them again. I also love that she again incorporates a lot of what she is doing in life along with reading. Like, she's learning Japanese, and she is just like, I don't know, so vibrant and so fun, and I enjoy her videos so much. And she is exactly the way that she is online in person, which is like even more fun, because anytime I build a friendship with just like anyone on the internet, you never really know how someone's gonna be in person. And I get that like in person, you might be a little bit more nervous, or you might be just like uncomfortable to be vulnerable and stuff, like, whereas with the camera, it's like in your house and you know, you're more like settled. But I feel like she does such a great job of just like being her true self on and off camera, and I love it so much. And I like aspire to always be that way, and I think being around people who are like that encourages me to continue to be just like vulnerable and myself and like all the things. So love, love, love her channel. Another creator that I absolutely love is Kayla's Bookish Vibes. I think the thing I love most about her channel is that she reads historical fiction, and she was actually one of the creators that got me back into historical fiction, because I think the first, like, I read like Fever in high school and like all these like, I can't even think of like what the names were, but they were like these like little women, they were going across the prairie and stuff. And I remember reading that in like high school, middle school, and I liked it, but I didn't get back into historical fiction as an adult because I thought it was gonna be boring. And then I read a book by Kristen Hanna, and whenever I read her book, I was like, ooh, I love historical fiction. Like, I rated The Four Winds 5 stars. It was so good. Then I read The Nightingale after it. I was like, oh, it was okay. Like, you know, I don't think that I'm someone who like is obsessed or enjoys reading about World War II. Like, and I don't know what it is, maybe because, I don't know. I don't even know what it is. And I think the generation of like 2 generations above me really enjoys reading about the world, like World War II, because it's like closer to their age range. I think for me, like reading The Four Winds, for example, it was about the Dust Bowl, and even though it wasn't like near my age by any means, I think that it was easier for me to relate to it, or imagine it and envision it, because that could be, you know, I've seen things where there are hurricanes, there are, you know, things that displace people, so I can like envision that. And not that I have to read only things I can envision, but I think getting into historical fiction, it made it more immersive when I could do that. And World War II, like, I have never like had to, you know, evacuate from my home because of a war, like that kind of thing. So I was like, I don't really know if I want to read like books about World War II. Like, I'm kind of trying to find other books so I stay excited about this genre, but I couldn't find anyone who was sharing like diverse reads that were historical fiction focused and that were not only centered on slavery. And not that I didn't want to read about that, but I think in my head, I felt like I knew all that there was to know. Realize now, like, I obviously did not. There's always something to learn, but I think that there are so many other things that have happened in history that have either been like kind of buried away or just brushed under the rug, or have not been the focus of the world that we live in because people don't care about marginalized groups in the same way that they do other groups. And so I think it was hard for me to find those stories because I wasn't seeing people talk about them. And then I found her channel, and I swear every single book she recommends, I'm like, oh, that's gonna be a banger. I read The Reformatory, read about the Dozier School for Boys, which is something that I wasn't super familiar with, and then I picked up the Nickel Boys, and that the Reformatory was a 5-star read for her. And she just has so many great historical fiction book recs. She also reads romance as well. She also homeschools her kids, which I was homeschooled my entire life, all the way up until college. And so that is kind of cool to see, because maybe in the future, you know, whenever I have kids, like that'll be something that I'll be interested in, because I did love my experience. Like there wasn't one thing about my experience that I didn't enjoy. So it's cool to see her doing that. She also has another little one on the way, and I think I've been very open about like how I used to be someone who was like very, like, I don't know, I think I saw being a parent differently than I do now. I think in the past, when I was younger, I saw it more of a burden, and then I think after my dad's passing and my mom moving away and having a lot of big changes, but also having familial anchors like kind of leaving, it made me realize how important family is, and also how having responsibility doesn't always have to be a bad thing. It can actually be a beautiful thing. And so I was someone who didn't really have the desire to have children, and now I definitely have that desire. And so seeing someone who has children and loves their experience and talks about it so beautifully is something that like really is just incredible. My mom, I guess I could have just said I have 5 siblings, so there's 6 of us. So my mom had 6 kids, and we all lived in the same house. My parents were married for 35 years. We all grew up, we're homeschooled. We're all very, very close. And I think that whenever I see her family unit, it just is so nostalgic for me, and it reminds me a lot of my own. So yeah, I love her channel. She's someone who I always go to for historical fiction book recs, and thrillers too. And another booktuber, man, I'm gonna have to start talking a little bit faster, but like I love these creators so much, so it's hard for me not to just like go on and on and on. But another creator that I absolutely love is Aaliyah. I think that I love her channel because she is a very real like person. And I know that like probably sounds weird, because now that I've been on the internet, I've realized that you can make yourself be whoever you want to be on the internet. Like you can be like vulnerable and real and raw, and it's like in real life you don't even think any of the things that you're saying on the internet. And I've met some people where I'm like, you are not the person that you are online. Like you have different thoughts and opinions and views and like what you say on the internet. But I feel like whenever I see Aaliyah's channel, she's just so real, and I feel like she'd be the type of person, if I met her in person, she would be exactly like that in real life. And it is just such a breath of fresh air. Also, she's someone who really intermingles like real life along with reading. Like she will be in the car like, I'm on my way to work, I'm running late, I want to be reading this book, but I can't. And she'll be like playing an audiobook or like talking about her book experience, and then you'll get the clip of her going to work, and she'll get another clip, and it'll be like her in the car, and she'll be like, I meant to vlog at such and such a place, I didn't, I'm in the car, here I am. And like, I love that. I love that because like life gets in the way, especially with our hobbies. I actually just went to Pilates this morning, and whenever I was there, I was talking to this girl, and she was like, yeah, like I follow you on Instagram and I love like what you share. She's like, I don't read as much as like you do, but when I was younger, I used to read a lot. I used to be the girl that would go to the library. She's like, I lived in a town of like 1,000 people, and I would go to the library and get books to like see stories from people all over the world. You know, like I would get all these lives that I could live, and people thought I was like weird. She's like, I was reading like Shakespeare at a young age. And whenever she was saying that, she was like, now as an adult, it's so hard for me to find time to like read. And I was like, yeah, honestly, like I feel like the older I get, the more intentional I have to be to keep like my hobbies at the center and not keep like work life or things that genuinely just don't matter. Cause it's like, you know, that isn't our focus or our purpose in life. And she was like, yeah, you know, I don't want to get to retirement and when I get there be like, yeah, I worked all these hours, but like I didn't do anything. I was like, totally, that's exactly how I feel. And I feel like with Aaliyah's channel, you can see that like she'll go in her room and be like, you know what, I like close the door, I'm like dialing into this book. Like I just love how you can see she has a very busy life and like she really centers her hobbies, and I think that that is just so inspiring and something I want to do as I get older. And granted, I'm only in my early 30s. I guess I wouldn't say only because some people would say that's old and some people say that's young, but I'm in my early 30s and I think that the more I make like an intentional focus to be like, yeah, I'm going to continue to do my hobbies. Like no matter what, I'm going to make sure that I'm still enjoying life. I feel like I still will because it's something I'm being intentional about. And I think following people who do the same will also encourage me in the same way that I said, Rosalie, she will like, you know, go outside and she'll read outside, or the same way that Bree, she's like very, you know, honest with her opinions and she's not really focusing on people pleasing. And Aaliyah, she's like keeping all of her, you know, hobbies at the center of her life. And Kayla, how she's like making sure that her family dynamic is such a beautiful and also a very nostalgic thing for me, but it's such a beautiful thing, and is showing like the beauty in that. Like I get so much inspiration from the people that I follow, and I think that whenever they're sharing their bookish experiences, it's really cool because they usually share their like life experience in relation to how they're connecting with the book. But also there's so many other things that I like love and aspire. And Kayla, like her humor is so funny, and I'm not a funny person. Like anytime you guys are like, oh my God, I was dying in this video, like you said or did this, I'm like, yes, because like I'm not funny. Like, and I know that it's not like, and I don't try to be like, it's like, I don't feel like I am. And I aspire to have all of these things that these people that I watch have as just like a very natural part of who they are. Another creator that I also like, just going through this list, there's so many creators. Another creator that I absolutely love is Amber Burns. Now, Amber is someone who has a channel that is book focused, but also she has so many other things that she does in life as well. One thing that I really love, and what's funny is I'm realizing that these creators that I follow, I love their bookish takes, and and I've talked about that in a lot of other videos, but I think what I relate to is the things that I aspire to have in the bookish sense and also outside of that too. And like with Amber, she shares a lot of her workouts, which in my videos I share like Pilates and I share CrossFit, and so I get so much inspiration from her. And anytime she'll like share her workouts and stuff in her videos, I'm like, okay, let me get up, let me not skip my workout, let me go. And I feel like she's so inspiring in that way. She's also someone who lives in New York City, and I love seeing her life because you will see bits and pieces of her at work. You'll also see her whenever she's working out. You'll see the meals that she's like creating, and then you also will see her hot bookish takes. And I just love that because again, it's making me realize like, I can make time for books. Like I can, especially when you see wrap-ups at the end of the month and they're like, oh, I've read 8 books, or I've read 6, or I've read 5. And obviously we all live different lives, but again, all these creators that I've shared, they have a different perspective. Some have kids, some have, you know, a in-person job where they work at a 9 to 5. Some have a remote job like myself. Like so many people have different lives and experiences, and I just am so like inspired to continue to like read whenever I see all of these creators just sharing their life. And like we all live different lives, but they're still reading too. And another creator that I absolutely love is Joyce Wesley. I think what I love most about her is whenever she's giving her bookish thoughts, she is very, very vulnerable, like very vulnerable. And that is something that I really aspire to do. I feel like I open myself up on my channel in like a very natural way, but I always am like, ooh, like that could be cringy, or ooh, like, do I really want to like shed a tear and like show that on the internet? Like and I think especially like a few months back, it was a while ago, but I was like searching for this TikTok of like something for my channel, and I couldn't find it, and I had to like link it. I don't know if I was linking it for my management or if I was just finding it for myself or what. And I Googled myself, and I Googled like the tag from the TikTok, and I will never Google myself ever again. Like I will literally never Google myself ever again. And I think because I live in a like town that is like mostly corn and cows, and like there is no other influencer other than me, I live in this idea that everyone who's watching enjoys watching my channel, and everyone who doesn't want to watch my channel just won't. And I also live in this like Mayberry type of vibe where it's like, you know, I walk out and if my neighbor needs some sugar, they can have it. Like everyone in my town is like kind and like thoughtful and like whatever, very open to talking to anyone, just like giving Midwest vibes. And I saw this thread, and it said like the most mean things about me, like zooming in on pictures of me, talking about like my weight and talking about what I wear, talking about my hair, talking about me and my takes on books and my, you know, how I seem dumb or this or that. And I went into this spiral, and not that I don't see negative things about myself on the internet. Like when you have like, I think I have like 450,000 friendships over TikTok and my podcast and Instagram. Also, if you do like these like long bookish or just takes in general, like you guys should definitely go follow my podcast because I talk literally just like this on my podcast. I talk a lot about friendship, talk a lot about self-love. I talk a lot about the books that I read. Every single episode I give like little bookish takes, and then some episodes they're just like straight about books, like most anticipated reads for the year, and it's usually something different than what I share here. So like you're gonna get a totally different like episode, but it's usually like 40 minutes or so of just me just yapping. But I don't know, I think that I have always had like negative things where people will say stuff about me on the internet, but in my head I always tell myself, oh, they don't really know you. Like on Instagram, you know, you might see a 15-second story and a minute and 30-second video on Instagram, or TikTok, you might get max like 3-minute TikTok. But like in my head, I would always tell myself, oh, they don't really know you. So like them giving a take doesn't really hurt me because they don't know me. And I feel like on YouTube, you guys really know me. And I think it's because I make, you know, if you really have to like someone to watch a 2-hour-long video. Like I've made 3-hour-long YouTube videos, and my like average vlog is like an hour, hour and a half, like every week. So in my head, I'm like, oh, you know me. Like, you know what my house looks like. You know what I look like with my bonnet on. You know what I've went through this year and the last few years. Like, you know me well. And so I think seeing that thread and seeing people who watch my channel and they're not focusing on other content, I was like, oh, they know me and they don't like me. And I think that goes back to the whole people pleasing thing, where I'm like, I need to obviously shed a lot of that. And I have worked through a lot. Like if you had met me in high school, like I was literally a carbon copy of everyone around me. I had no personal like opinion, like nothing. So I've worked through a lot of that, and I still obviously will continue until the day I die. But I think in my head, I was like, oh, everyone here, we're friends. Like you're not gonna just watch a video from someone you don't like. And I think I struggle with vulnerability because I always worry that someone is like nitpicking vulnerable parts of me. And I think that like, you know, on my podcast, I get very vulnerable there, but I'm like, you're not gonna listen to 40 minutes of someone you hate, you know? But then people do. But I think what I love about Joyce is that she's so vulnerable, and it takes a lot of courage to be vulnerable, especially on the internet, because people can easily nitpick what you say. They can twist your words around. They can just like take, you know, the things that are very, very near and dear to your heart, whether you're talking about your family or grief or breakups or whatever in relation to the book. Like a lot of the time on my channel, I will read something. I'll be like, man, this like hit me because X, Y, and Z. Like I went through a friendship breakup, or I am going through this thing, or I'm going through that thing. And I feel like to have that vulnerability, you have to share parts of yourself. And Joyce does such a great job of leading with that, leading with love always, but like really leading with like, this is what I'm going through, what I've went through, and really prioritizing self-love and like encouraging her like friendships who like follow her to also like really love themselves and focus on that too. So yeah, I just really, really love that. She also has a daughter who like has needs a little bit more assistance from her, and I actually used to work in healthcare with families who had children with disabilities and would just have like special needs that would need to be just like, you know, have more hands-on like love and care for them. And so whenever I see her and her, you know, working part-time and her taking care of her daughter and her loving on her other kids and her husband, and like she, I think in her last video was saying she's been married for 18 years. Like I just really love how you can see that love is the center of her life, and she really encourages her friendships to lead with that too. So yeah, love her channel. I also really love, we're getting close to the end here, but there are like a few other creators that I watch like frequently, and there are other creators that like I watch frequently, but like they don't post frequently, so I almost feel like it doesn't really make sense to share their channel. Like obviously Bestie Alex, we are obsessed with Bestie's channel. Like we've been friends since I was like 12 or 14, and she started on YouTube like a year ago, and now I think she posts like once a month or something like that, or maybe, yeah, maybe once a month. I'm not really sure, but like I absolutely love her channel. I also love Kira Julian's channel. She is someone who is in medical school, so like she posts, I think she's starting to post a little bit more now, but like she took a year or year and a half hiatus. So like there are other creators that I love, but like they don't post as frequently. These are the creators who post every single week, because I don't really want to share creators that like don't post as frequently, because if I'm like go follow their channel and they haven't posted in a while, it's like, why did I make this video? But another creator that I love following is Angel. I think that what I love about her channel is she is a freaking girl's girl, and she's giving aesthetics. Like every time I see her channel, I'm like, the editing pops, like it's just so, she's just like, she's giving aesthetics, and I never miss one of her videos. Like they're so enjoyable to watch. She's so cutesy. I love all the like pinks and stuff like that she uses. If you're loving creators that really give like aesthetic and vibes and like very cutesy girly like type of content, I feel like you'll really enjoy hers. Like she'll do face masks sometimes, and like I love watching her channel. She's so fun, and I feel like anytime I watch one of her videos, I just feel very cozy. Like she's a very cozy creator. So yeah, I really enjoy her videos as well. And then another creator that I'm trying to like speed this up because I've been talking for so long, like literally just, and these again are creators whose videos I do not miss, or like if I miss one, it's like I'm missing one. Like I'm not, like we are watching these videos. Another creator that I really love to watch is Reading Over Reality. She is someone who reads lots of diverse reads, which I love. She also reads like more fantasy than I do, and whenever I am looking for like a fantasy rec that maybe isn't one I've heard about a lot, that I'm going to be able to get an honest take on, I always watch her videos. She is very enjoyable. She's funny. Like she has kids and she'll be like, I gotta get them kids in the car, like they're doing this, that, and like she's just so funny. Like I think I love mixing like creators like that I watch and having different personalities that I watch, because I'll watch them when I need to be in that like mood. Like if I'm just in a ho-hum mood and I am not like really in the best mood, like I'm gonna watch someone who's gonna make me laugh, or someone who's going to be like funny or encourage me to get outside. But then if I'm in the mood for like, you know, just the depth and the heart, you know, emotion, I'm gonna watch someone who's like very vulnerable. And I feel like all of these creators are creators that are gonna give you all of the things that you're looking for. So yeah, I think that that is most of the creators who are consistent, and the ones that I like consistently watch, literally never miss, I'm obsessed with. There are also other creators, but I just feel like for the sake of this video, like I could literally go on and on and on. So for the sake of this video, we're gonna cut it there. But I really hope you enjoy this video. If you like me just like talking, like this was more like chatty than a lot of my other sit downs, because like obviously it's like a little bit longer. If you like these more chatty videos, definitely go and listen to my podcast, because this is exactly how I talk on my podcast, and I feel like I get into like more deeper thoughts and things about life. And then I also have Instagram and TikTok as well, if you guys want like more short form, like fun bookish recs, lots of romance, all diverse reads. That's literally all that I post. And not that I don't read books that aren't diverse, like I definitely do, but people are already sharing that content. Like I don't need someone to recommend The 7-Year Slip or Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez, or not that those books aren't great, but like I don't need someone to recommend those to me because there are 101 people who are recommending those books. I really try to make the content that I create fill a gap that I feel like is there. Like when I look at the creator space, like if I type in booktuber, you don't find Black booktubers. Like you find other creators, and I absolutely love people being in their bag, and I also love people like, you know, getting the hype that they deserve, but also there are so many creators that are not as like visible as they should be, even though they have absolutely incredible content. So I hope this video makes you find people that you haven't like watched before. These are all of my favorites, the people who I genuinely do not miss any of their videos. I always try to comment if I can. Sometimes I don't comment because I'll be like washing dishes or like in the shower or whatever, but like I really love their videos so much. And I also have so many other videos with other booktubers that I watch like periodically and just like sporadically whenever these creators either haven't created something or I have already watched all their videos. Like I literally have went back for some of these creators and watched their old videos from like last year. Like I'm caught up. So make sure you guys are following all of them. You will love watching every single one of their videos. I make videos like this usually every few months. But the thing about these videos is these are not the ones that get the high views. These are not the ones that get pushed. They're not the ones that are getting the visibility that I feel like videos like this do deserve. So comment below a creator that you love. Comment below something that you're reading. Share this video with someone that you know would love more book recs by Black authors, because all of these creators do read diversely. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you guys are subscribed to me as well. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.